Hello and welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present it. Our top stories in the news tonight. 2 suspected cattle rustlers burned to death by IRATE villagers in SHIBUYUNJI district. PF aspiring President MWAMBA pleads not guilty to assaulting a police officer. Government urged to implement stringent audit measures on the utilization of CDF. In international news, fire at Egypt police headquarters injures 38. And in sports news, VRR to be introduced at this year's Women's COSAFA Championship. These and more stories coming up after this break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Live your dream today by playing Nawina Lotto and start a chance to win up to 2,000 kwacha every day.
And in order to play Zambia's most trusted lottery, first make sure you have money in your mobile money account.
In order to stand a chance to win, you need to follow these steps. Step number 1, dial *388*6#. Step number 2, select option 1 to buy your ticket. Step number 3, select option 5, which is Camnet. Step number 4, buy 1 ticket for 5 kwacha, 2 tickets for 10 kwacha, or 10 tickets for 50 kwacha. Number 5, enter your mobile PIN to confirm your purchase.
After buying your tickets, you will be entered into the day's draw and a unique code will be sent to you via SMS.
Draws will be done every day right here on Camnet TV, and the winners will be announced right here on Camnet TV every day at 19 hours. Remember, the more tickets you buy, the higher chances of winning. Get busy, away!
Now the news in detail. A 19-year-old self-taught drone pilot of Lusaka's Kanyama compound is building drones to capture aerial footage in his flood-prone community. Lawrence Twambo says his innovations are inspired by the challenge of floods in his community and hopes that the initiative will help in surveying the area, especially during rainy season. Lawrence, who just completed his secondary school education, says it is time that Zambia started looking for homegrown solutions to some challenges facing communities. Vincent Perry reports.
Meet Lawrence Twambo, a 19-year-old boy of Kanyama Township who is building drones to help in mapping and surveying areas in times of disaster. Lawrence, who completed his secondary education last year, dreams of becoming a pilot and be able to fly big planes someday. He tells this reporter that he draws his inspiration from the challenges of floods in Kanyama Township and Lusaka at large.
Most of the times, like here in my area, we mostly have like challenges in terms of like rain season. We are mostly affected with floods, in terms of like settlement. So like these are areas whereby mapping is mostly required, and through the help of mapping we need like such kind of things for us to be able to carry out the task of mapping and other duties like aerial surveillance, exactly, in order for us to monitor the floods, how they've really affected the environment in the area, and what help can be put in order for people who are affected to be helped very well.
Lawrence further narrates how his innovation is contributing to the fight against climate change as he uses scrap materials.
With the materials, looking at like the shells, the designs, for them I mostly use local materials like cardboard, wood, wires, and other materials which are toxic to the environment, talking about maybe plastic. But when it comes to electronics, that's where I've got a bit of challenge there, being that I mostly have to order these electronics from China, which is a bit costly. It's a bit expensive, being that these electronics are complex. Building them starting from scratch would require other components again, which would be bought in China again. So it's a bit challenging, like getting them. here inside the.
Among some challenges he is facing is materials such as electronics, which he has to import from outside the country, and lack of adequate resources to do so.
I would like for people to help us in terms of like getting electronics so that we do more and venture more in these things, whereby we would help our country and push it more in terms of like aviation, putting aviation at a higher level in the country.
What's your dream with this kind of innovations? What do you want to see?
Yeah, so like my dream, I've been pushing these things, being that I've always dreamed to be a pilot. One day I would like to be a real pilot, like to fly these big planes like Boeing, and to contribute more like in the aviation industry.
With this kind of creativity, it is surely time that policymakers begin to engage and empower young minds like Lawrence in finding solutions to some of the problems that this country is facing. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
2 suspected cattle rustlers have been burned to death by irate villagers in MWAMBA area of Shibuyunji district in the Central Province. According to the information obtained by Camnet News, the suspected cattle rustlers were found loading 10 cattle around 01 hours into a Volvo truck registration number CAA 5837. The 2 were among 4 suspected cattle rustlers who were found on the scene, but 2 managed to escape. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga named the deceased as Remy Mwinga, aged 45, and Benny Ngwiliza, aged 29. Mr. Hamonga says the other 2 suspects who managed to escape the wrath of the villagers are currently in police custody. He says police have since instituted investigations into the matter. We would like to warn our sensitive viewers that the pictures you are about to see may be disturbing.
This occurred today, the 2nd of October 2023, at a known time when a group of people came across a truck loaded with cattle they suspect have been stolen, with 4 suspects on board in MWAMBA village of Shibuyunji district. Immediately the suspect noticed the group of people, they decided to run away from the scene, abandoning the motor vehicle. 2 suspects were caught in the process and burned to death. The 2 survivors, both of Chilando village, namely Ernest Shiziba, 843, the owner of the truck, Volvo registration number CAA 5837, and Isaac Paraza, 828, a driver of the truck, are in police custody. Police have initiated investigations. Mob justice, also known as vigilante justice, refers to the act of individuals or groups taking the law into their own hands to administer punishment on alleged wrongdoers without due process. While we understand the frustration and the anger that can result from criminal activities, we want to emphasize that mob justice is not only illegal but also poses serious risks to the society, to the safety and well-being of our residents. Our commitment to upholding the rule of law and ensuring justice for all is unwavering. We believe that every citizen is entitled to a fair and impartial trial, that the justice system is the appropriate avenue for addressing alleged crimes.
The Lusaka City Council LCC has expressed displeasure over an unknown individual who has been impersonating the town clerk with the intention of collecting money from business owners within the city. According to reports lodged before the Lusaka City Council, the said individual has been allegedly soliciting money for lunch and beverages, among other funds, using his fake title. LCC Public Relations Officer Nyambe Ula Ulumba has since warned criminals involved in this illegality to immediately cease operations, as they will be dealt with in accordance with the law and serve as an example to would-be offenders.
It has come to our attention that the impersonator is taking advantage of the town clerk position to extort money from business owners by falsely claiming that their businesses will remain open even if they have not paid or renewed their permits for the coming year. Now, according to reports by some victims, the said individual has been allegedly collecting money for lunch and beverages, among other things, from them using his fake ND title LCC town clerk. Now, we would like to advise business owners and members of the public that the council does not receive cash payments for any servicing. Instead, what happens is that customers are required to make payments through LCC affiliated banks and produce receipts as proof of payment for any service. Additionally, the Council has made it clear that our revenue collectors or any other forms formed for that cause carry valid identification cards, wear Council uniforms, and further do not ask for bribes from any business operator. The criminals involved in this illegality must immediately cease operations, as they will be dealt with in accordance with the law and serve as an example to would-be offenders. We have since instituted investigations into this matter to ensure that the culprit is brought to book. We further would like to commend members of the public for swift reporting such an individual.
Several institutions and organizations have called on government to strengthen the Constituency Development Fund CDF monitoring and evaluation, welcoming the increase of the fund in the 2024 national budget from 28.3 million kwacha to 30.6 million kwacha. The organizations have urged government to put in place a consolidated audit of CDF. Minister of Finance and National Planning, Situmbeko Msokotwane, says Zambia's biggest challenge is to grow the economy, which has been on the plunge since 2013. The sentiments were made during a national symposium on the 2024 budget in Lusaka Monday morning. More in this report.
Different organizations ranging from professional and business bodies and international agencies on Monday met for the National Symposium on the 2024 national budget. On Friday, 29th September, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Situmbeko Msokotwane, presented the 178 billion 2024 budget in the National Assembly. Among several others, the budget highlighted tax changes, increment in the Constituency Development Fund CDF, and recruitment in health and education sectors. Whilst the stakeholders had different opinions on some tax changes, the call on government to implement strong monitoring and evaluation measures of CDF was prominent.
Increment of the allocation of the CDF from 4 billion kwacha to 4.8 billion kwacha. Zaki commends the government for raising the CDF allocation. However, monitoring and evaluation should be strengthened. That's our call.
There has not been a consolidated or an audit report on CDF. With increased funding, there needs to be more oversight, and the Office of the Auditor General does not have capacity to reach all constituencies in a timeless manner.
Meanwhile, Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry Zaki President Anton Kabaye has urged government to abandon the planned upward adjustment of tax on personal-to-personal money transfers, as it is detrimental on the country's drive to go cashless.
Zaki appreciates government's rationale to this measure. However, it may undermine the strides already made in creating a cashless society and attaining financial inclusion. We therefore suggest that this measure be removed, Honorable Minister, because it will translate into added costs to consumers who already pay high transaction fees.
In his keynote address, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Situmbeko Msokotwane, said government is making tough choices to share the little resources in the country.
Issue of choices. I think sometimes we forget that. We tend to believe that government is all the money in the world. Therefore, government must do a lot there, government must put more subsidies on that, government must do this. Colleagues, money is limited.
Dr. Msokotwane stressed that growing the country's economy through increase in exports remains the country's major challenge and a priority. As a result, government is implementing some incentives to realize the goal.
Israel, Holland, and Switzerland, they are what they are today because they are export driven. So for us also, that is paramount to be export driven. Therefore, to get this economy to grow, we must provide a lot of incentives.
For Camnet TV News, Afyas Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has called on young people to take interest in investing in different sectors of the economy and contribute to national development. Speaking on the sidelines of the launch of the World Investor Week, Securities and Exchange Commission Acting Chief Executive Officer Nondes Chilima says youths are key in national development as they have fresh ideas. Meanwhile, a youth, Rachel Kacha, says it is crucial to equip youths with knowledge and skills necessary to make sound investments decisions. Details in the following report.
Young people bring new ideas, create jobs and tackle social issues that contribute to the overall development of the economy. Moreover, the youth can influence and contribute to the economic development of their communities. This is why the Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, is encouraging young people to take interest in investing in different sectors of the economy and contribute to the national development. Speaking on the sidelines of the launch of the World Investor Week, SEC Acting Chief Executive Officer Nondes Chilima says youths are key in national development as they have fresh minds and ideas.
Whatever we do now, it's our investment in these young people, and that means that we need to get them ready to take over once you and I are not there. So it's very important for them to learn about investing, to learn about how to be resilient, and also learn how they can contribute to national development by participating in various capital markets activities. Today we are focusing on the investor side, so this is how you can invest in capital markets. But more importantly, it's how these young children can also use capital markets to raise funding for any business that they want to do in future, so that they participate in economic activities out there.
And Rachel Kacha, a youth, says it is crucial to equip youths with knowledge and skills necessary to make sound investment decisions.
Sustainable finance aligns perfectly with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which serve as a universal call to action to end poverty. Sustainable finance protects the planet and ensure prosperity to all by 2030. Through sustainable finance, we can redirect investment flows towards projects that benefit both our society and the environment. In an age where financial markets are more accessible than ever before, it is crucial that individuals, including youths, are equipped with knowledge and skills necessary to make sound investment decisions. The university ESSA rating competition has served as a beacon of hope and inspiration for young minds, encouraging us to delve deeper into the world of finance, investment, and security regulations.
Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Some pupils with disabilities from schools based in Lusaka have called for innovative solutions that respond to their physical conditions in accessing various services. One of the pupils, Roderick Mbalawo, says inclusive strides should be made to ensure the plight of citizens with disabilities are part and parcel of different developmental programs. Speaking during the launch of a parliamentary caucus on disability inclusion and rights, Caucus Chairperson Joseph Musanje disclosed that about 1.5 million Zambians are disabled, hence the need to create platforms which address challenges they face. Meanwhile, First Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Malungo Chisangano, has challenged parliamentarians to show interest in championing disability inadequacies. Nelson Zulu reports.
Zambia is a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, CRPD, which aims to promote, protect and ensure the full and equal enjoyment of all human rights and fundamental freedoms by all persons with disabilities, as well as promote respect for their inherent dignity. Locally, the Persons with Disabilities Act No. 6 of 2012 focuses on empowering persons with disabilities to be an integral part of mainstream society, with over 1.5 million citizens living with disabilities. Discrimination and unequal distribution of resources is topical in the country. In this regard, some pupils with disabilities from some schools based in Lusaka are calling for the implementation of innovative and technological solutions which respond to their physical condition in accessing various services.
In our special education, learners with disabilities have difficulties when writing the exams. Like for me, personally, you can hear from my speech, but I have difficulties in writing. So I hope from this engagement, our lawmakers can try to enforce something like e-learning.
Speaking during the launch of a parliamentary caucus on disability, inclusion and rights, Chairperson Joseph Monsanje is hopeful that the caucus will address underlying issues persons with disabilities face
and submit concerns and views of persons with disabilities on various issues that concern and affect them. To this effect, the caucus will develop supportive measures for the participation of persons with disabilities.
Meanwhile, the Zambia Disability Rights Watch hopes the caucus will not be action-oriented on paper, but implement.
The speech of the Minister of Finance indicated that one of the laws which will be amended in this session is the CDF Act. We want to see the CDF Act and thereafter the CDF guidelines explicitly saying 10% of the CDF will go to persons with disabilities.
For other stakeholders, enhancing inclusion for persons with disabilities should be a priority.
Only truly attain progress and prosperity for our country by embracing diversity and safeguarding the rights of all individuals.
Non-discrimination, equality and participation are key principles in Finland's development policy.
And First Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Malungo Chisangano, has thrown a challenge to parliamentarians for consideration.
Questions of employment and the social protection system that responds to the needs of persons with disabilities.
The launch has been observed under the theme Fostering Parliamentary Innovation for Disability Inclusive Development. Now Sonzulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Opposition Patriotic Front presidential hopeful Emmanuel MWAMBA has pleaded not guilty to assaulting a police officer in June 2023. Mr. MWAMBA denied the allegations Monday morning before Magistrate Trevor Kasanda when the case came up for plea. Allegations are that on the 14th of June 2023, Mr. MWAMBA assaulted Detective Inspector Stephen Simwenda, an officer of the Zambia Police Service, in the due execution of his duty. More in this report.
Opposition Patriotic Front presidential hopeful Emmanuel MWAMBA made his appearance before the Lusaka Magistrate Court Monday morning in relation to a matter where he is accused of assaulting a police officer. The accused was accompanied by some officials from the Patriotic Front. According to allegations before court, Mr. MWAMBA, on June 14, 2023 in Lusaka, assaulted Detective Inspector Stephen Simwenda in the due execution of his duty. His case is being handled by Magistrate Trevor Kasanda, and the accused has pleaded not guilty. The allegations that he is facing are contrary to Section 250B of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. The accused is expected to make another appearance on the 20th and the 21st of November 2023. And speaking shortly after the case, Patriotic Front Secretary General Raphael Nakachinda wonders why Mr. MWAMBA's case, where he was allegedly assaulted by the police, has not been treated with the urgency it deserves.
Was assaulted by non-police officers. He reported at Woodlands Police. A docket was opened. Up to today, that matter has not been processed. Arrests have not been effected. But what we are seeing is a matter that has commenced, suggesting that an ambassador assaulted police officers. We are very confident that the truth will emerge through this process and justice will be meted out. But I want to take this opportunity to call upon Musamba, IG, and the entire police command to ensure that those who assaulted Ambassador MWAMBA should be brought to book. Medical reports are there. The evidence is there.
Meanwhile, Mr. Nakachinda says certain cases that are being brought before the courts of law are exposing political harassment against the opposition.
All these cases really are exposing the political harassment and the use of government institutions to victimize those that are known to be political leaders or sympathizers or supporters of the opposition, particularly the Patriotic Front. But as it was demonstrated on the Copper Belt, when we went basically to have our provincial chairman, the new provincial chairman installed there is high enthusiasm among the Zambian people, expressing confidence in the rebranded Patriotic Front and the new policies that we are refining. And they are clearly and loudly announcing, we want you back. And if at all the UPND continue to call you through their president, that Mwali Tumpa, we as Zambians, we want to be tumparing together with you until you form government in 2026.
Miriam Kaemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A 24-year-old man of Lusaka's garden compound who is accused of abducting and murdering his 10-year-old neighbor has pleaded not guilty before the Lusaka High Court. This is in a matter in which Nalukwi Akafekwa is accused of murdering 10-year-old Chikondi Banda after picking him up from school on March 17, 2023. According to a statement by the police, the accused is alleged to have murdered the boy and later dumped him in a maize field in Lusaka's Emmersdale area. The police statement further indicates that the accused allegedly led police officers to where he committed the crime and also revealed that his motive was to get money from the boy's parents. High Court Judge MWAMBA has adjourned the case to the 6th of October for commencement of trial. And still in court news, a murder trial involving a 31-year-old Amos Dubeka of Dubeka Farm off Mumba Road in Lusaka West, who is accused of killing his 16-year-old cousin, will start afresh following the removal of the judge who was handling the case. The matter has to start afresh before Lusaka High Court because Judge Joshua Banda, who was initially hearing it, was recently relieved of his duties by President Hakainde Hichilema before he could deliver judgment in the case. This is in a matter where Amos Dubeka allegedly killed Joyce Dubeka on Sunday, the 7th of March 2021 by beheading her. According to the police statement, it is alleged that Amos threw the head in a pit latrine and buried the rest of the body in a shallow grave. It is further alleged that the accused attempted to commit suicide by consuming some unknown noxious substance. The accused has pleaded not guilty to the charge, and the matter comes up on the 5th of October for commencement of trial. This is Camnet Television News. Join us for more news after this short break.
In our quest to serve nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ Luxurious Coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Are you planning to marry or get married? Contact the Camnet media team for a professional capturing of your big day in life. Let your relatives, friends, and the nation join you in celebrating your big day on television. Just at a manageable fee, Camnet Television will cover and transmit your wedding on your channel of choice. Contact the marketing department on mobile number. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
I give my love to having home.
Live your dream today by playing Nawina Lotto and study chance to win up to 2,000 kwacha every day.
And in order to play Zambia's most trusted lottery, first make sure you have money in your mobile money account.
In order to stand a chance to win, you need to follow these steps. Step number 1, dial *388*6#. Step number 2, select option 1 to buy your ticket. Step number 3, select option 5, which is Camnet. Step number 4, buy 1 ticket for 5 kwacha, 2 tickets for 10 kwacha, or 10 tickets for 50 kwacha. Number 5, enter your mobile PIN to confirm your purchase.
After buying your ticket, you will be entered into the day's draw and a unique code will be sent to you via SMS.
Draws will be done every day right here on Camnet TV, and the winners will be announced right here on Camnet TV every day at 19 hours. Remember, the more tickets you buy, the higher chances of winning. Get busy, away!
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Minister of Tourism Rodney Sikumba believes that the $100 million concession loan that was agreed with the World Bank, as stated by Finance Minister Dr. Stumbekom Sokotwane during the budget presentation, will be instrumental in the development of the tourism sector. Mr. Sikumba says upgrading infrastructure in the tourism sites in the country is key to making Zambia a tourist destination of choice. The Livingstone Central constituency lawmaker adds that the move will also lead to sector and overall national economic growth.
About 770. Furthermore, we're talking about the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, which has been allocated a substantial amount going towards biodiversity protection. All that revolves around how best we're going to create a proper destination, which is Destination Zambia, and that's how we want to market it. But we're very excited as ministry also that in the budget speech, Honorable Sokotwane did make mention about the $100 million concessional loan that was coined, agreed by the Minister of Finance as well as the World Bank. That amount of money will purely go towards developing 3 sites: Layua National Park, Cassava Bay, and the source of the Zambezi. We all know why those areas are important. All those places are probably vantage points that create a circuit. Now the circuit in this case we're talking about here, a developed circuit which will now allow increased length of stay. Liua, Siomangwezi, Livingstone, Kafue National Park, and Lower Zambezi. That in itself, once developed, you'll be able to start seeing that our length of stay is increased from our traditional 3, which obviously increased from 3 to 4 now, but we ultimately want to see it to get to 5, 6, maybe 7. The more a tourist stays longer in your country, the more money they spend. And the more money they spend, the more profits you as a business get to make. The more profits you make, the more taxes we receive. The more taxes we receive, the more money we allocate to social services such as water, education, health, clean water and sanitation. And that is the ultimate goal. So it's very important that don't look at these amounts of money being given in isolation. We have this big chunk, big domino puzzle All you need to do is just to start placing them in their right spaces, and then you'll be able to see that the tourism sector will grow, and ultimately as a country will be very excited and happy about it.
The Small-Scale Farmers Development Agency, SAFADA, has urged government to state clearly how the Farming Block Initiative will uplift smallholder farmers. Government in the 2024 national budget allocated 598 million kwacha to farm block development, irrigation and extension services to spur technological advanced agricultural production. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, SAFADA Executive Director Boyd Mobwe says government should state clearly on how the farm block initiative will uplift small-scale Zambian farmers as opposed to leaving it to foreigners.
Maybe the farm block, and on the same farm block, we are not very clear. I think we need further clarification on how the farmers, small-scale farmers, are going to access this piece of land, pieces of land. Yeah, but otherwise, it's very important that we consider farmers being upgraded. They have to graduate, they have to advance in agriculture. There are farmers who have got pieces of land in the traditional land, on the traditional land, but they need a bigger land to do their activities. Yeah, but from the way things are coming out, most likely these farm blocks will be taken over by investors, foreign investors who are able to invest in production, because they have got capacity to proceed with production compared to small-scale farmers who are still limping. I think this is where we have a challenge. Government is it's not really there to see the farmers going to farm blocks.
Violent succession wrangles have engulfed Chief Mulekatambo chiefdom in Mafinga district, Muchinga province, following the demise of the then sitting chief in 2018. The wrangles have become bloody recently, with suspected assault and arson cases being recorded, leaving some family members injured and homeless. The succession wrangle is between two camps of Mosted Mugala and Wavyanga Mugala, which has resulted in two faction Nyika royal councils. According to sources in one of the camps, Mosted Mugala is said to have been chosen by the legitimate council, but some unhappy family members formulated another council which later installed Wavyanga Mugala, leaving the two groups in a deadlock. The sources have also accused the police in Mafinga of conniving with the suspects, including releasing some murder suspects of a named village headman who had a strong voice in the succession wrangles. The succession wrangles of Chief Mulekatambo is believed to have been before the courts of law in Lusaka, which ruled through consent judgment that it should be settled by the Nyika Royal Council establishment, but has not been fruitful due to subsequent disturbing events, including violence. When contacted for a comment, Zambia Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga was not in receipt of the violence reports in Mulekatambo of Mafinga district. You're still watching Camnet Television Main News. We'll take our second and final break. Join us for international sports news after the break.
That's a report I was given. Ati sayendako bosi ati mzako muntu ekani tupumuleko please tulina mabanja knife because if I don't go to their doorsteps, the relation is a sinner. Better vis-a-vis. Let me start dealing with this vis-a-vis. I'm a doorstep. Head on.
At your doorstep. Time 11 hours to 12 hours every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and repeats from 18 to 19 hours every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage. ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. And now in foreign news, a fire at a police headquarters in northeastern Egypt has injured at least 38 people, according to the country's health ministry. The blaze broke out in the early hours of Monday morning and ripped through the multi-story building located in the Suez Canal province of Ismailia, according to ministry spokesperson Hossam Abdel Ghaffar. 12 of the injured were treated on site, while 26 others were taken to hospital, but two suffering from breathing difficulties. According to the spokesperson, 7 of the injured were treated and discharged. Here's a roundup of foreign news for more.
A fire broke out in the early hours of Monday morning at a police headquarters in northeastern Egypt, injuring at least 38 people. The blaze ripped through the multi-story building located in the Suez Canal province of Ismailia, according to the health ministry spokesperson. 12 of the injured were treated at the site, while 26 others were taken to hospital, all but 2 suffering from breathing difficulties. It was not immediately clear how many police were in the headquarters at the time of the blaze, which severely damaged the building. An investigation into the cause of the fire has been ordered by the Interior Ministry.
The new head of the International Organization for Migration laid out her vision for tackling irregular migration on Monday and stressed the economic benefits migration can have on the countries receiving migrants. Speaking from Geneva, Amy Pope focused on the evidence that migration can boost economies by providing well-needed workers or new innovation.
The evidence is fairly overwhelming that migration actually benefits economies. And when you look at economies that have had a significant influx of migrants over the years, if you look at how they're performing in the future, we see overwhelmingly that people tend to be better off as a result of migration, whether it's because it's fueling innovation, it's fueling labor supply, whether it's fueling the renovation or revitalization of aging communities. Migration on the whole is a benefit.
Pop also decried what she called the normalization of death in the Mediterranean Sea.
People are coming because they're getting jobs. And if there wasn't an economic opportunity for them to take advantage of on the other side, they wouldn't come. So our goal should be increasingly to build out regular, realistic pathways for people, recognizing that there are job opportunities, whether it's high skill or low skill, and that our best opportunity, and this is where the EU leadership is especially needed, and where we've seen very important developments in this space, but recognizing that if we're really going to stop people crossing the Mediterranean on rickety boats and dying as they do so, we need to approach this situation far more comprehensively.
Pop recently won her bid to become the first woman to lead the UN Migration Agency, defeating the current IOM Director General Antonio Vitorino in a vote for the position. The new head of the International Organization for Migration laid out her vision for tackling irregular migration on Monday and stressed the economic benefits migration can have on the countries receiving migrants. Speaking from Geneva, Amy Pope focused on the evidence that migration can boost economies by providing well-needed workers or new innovation.
The evidence is fairly overwhelming that migration actually benefits economies. And when you look at economies that have had a significant influx of migrants over the years, if you look at how they're performing in the future, we see overwhelmingly that people tend to be better off as a result of migration, whether it's because it's fueling innovation, it's fueling labor supply, whether it's fueling the renovation or revitalization of aging communities. Migration on the whole is a benefit.
Pop also decried what she called the normalization of death in the Mediterranean Sea.
People are coming because they're getting jobs. And if there wasn't an economic opportunity for them to take advantage of on the other side, they wouldn't come. So our goal should be increasingly to build out regular, realistic pathways for people, recognizing that there are job opportunities, whether it's high skill or low skill, and that our best opportunity, and this is where the EU leadership is especially needed, and where we've seen very important developments in this space, but recognizing that if we're really going to stop people crossing the Mediterranean on rickety boats and dying as they do so, we need to approach this situation far more comprehensively.
POP recently won her bid to become the first woman to lead the UN Migration Agency, defeating the current IOM Director General Antonio Vitorino in a vote for the position.
Now in sports news tonight, the video assistant referee VAR system will be introduced in COSAFA competitions for the first time, starting with the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Championship that will be played in Gauteng province from October 4 to 15. COSAFA will provide VAR at the semi-final stage of the competition, with plans fully set on introducing the technology in all tournaments. COSAFA referees manager Felix Tangawarima said on the sidelines of a 5-day all-female course for VAR training for referees that COSAFA has had the will to have the VAR project at its tournaments, and it has finally arrived. The course includes practical and theory, which is being overseen by project leader and FIFA representative Mike van der Roest. Zambia referees Diana Chikotesha is among the participants at the course. Tangawarima added that COSAFA will be one of the first regions to implement VAR for its tournaments, adding to some of the North African countries who have already incorporated it in the game. To end Camnet television news, the top stories once again. 2 suspected cattle rustlers burnt to death by IRATE villagers in Shibuyunji district. PF aspiring President Emmanuel MWAMBA pleads not guilty to assaulting a police officer. Government urged to implement stringent audit measures on the utilization of CDF. In international news, fire at Egypt police headquarters injures 38. And in sports news, VAR to be introduced at this year's Women's COSAFA Championship. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Ephesians 5 verse 18. Do not be drunk with wine, because that will ruin your life. Instead, be filled with the Holy Spirit. Thank you for watching Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Good night.